Right, shalom, shalom. Kahalo, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Bahashim Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders who taught us this truth. Shalom to the Akrim, pushing this word throughout the four corners of the earth. And I've got a quick article here. Guardian says here about the Mary Rose ship had multi-ethnic crew, study shows. Okay. Analysis of remains of the crew of Henry VIII's favourite ship sheds light on diversity in Tudor England. Right. But now what they're telling you is that there was Negroes. Because the first thing you got to find out who Henry VIII was. Henry VIII was a nigger. If they saw him today, they would call him a black bee. Okay? Or a monkey. Or a coon. All these derogatory terms. Henry VIII was a Negro king. Just like King James. Just like Charles. Charles Stuart II. All right, you're gonna find this out that you've been lied to. Okay, this is here. The Tudor times is when Jake ruled. Okay, the Israelites ruled. The Dark Ages. Okay, that's when we ruled. Yeah, the Tudors. You know, you're gonna the Vanguards in England, in France, and the Vikings. They were all Negroes. Yeah, the Anglo-Saxons, what means angelic sons of Isaac. So you're gonna find out all this is Esau's lies. Okay, it says here. Here's a ship there, and it says at the bottom there, the remains of the Mary Rose in Portsmouth. I was there a couple of months. Well, a few last month I think I was there. Portsmouth. I was actually took a some video of the coast of the port and everything where the ships come in. It says here, 3 of the 8 crew members studied almost certainly grew up in more southern climes, says researchers. Okay, and it says here, one is thought to be an anchor raised in the Atlas Mountains in North Africa. Another may have been a carpenter who grew up in southwest Spain. The Negroes was in Spain. Okay, they was kicked out by Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand, and they went to Portugal. Okay, um, Beethoven was known as the Spaniard. Okay, the Moor. He was a Moor. Okay, and he was known as the Spaniard because the Negroes ruled Spain. Okay, and it says here, one is thought to be an archer raised in the Atlas Mountains of North Africa. North Africa is where Carthage is. Okay, Carthage, where Hannibal, Negroes. Okay, another may have been a carpenter who grew up in the southwest Spain. Others hailed from closer to home, possibly bustling ports in the English West Country and Thames estuary. The most in-depth study yet of a group of men who drowned when Henry VIII's favourite ship Mary Rose sank off Portsmouth has provided fresh insight into the makeup of the crew and diverse nature of society in Tudor England. By combining evidence about where in the ship and men's remains were found when it was brought to the surface with state-of-the-art analysis of their teeth, researchers have been able to peer into the lives of 8 crew members who died almost 5 centuries ago. Alexandria Hildred, the head of research and curator of ordnance and human remains at the Mary Rose Trust, said the number of objects recovered from the ship were not made in England had suggested that some of the crew were foreign. Yes, Jake ruled Europe for 1,000 years, from North Africa to west Basically, they ruled the whole known world at the time. Okay, from Russia to Spain to France to England, North Africa, Africa. We was ruling. Okay, the Negroes was ruling. Okay. However, we never expected this diversity to be so rich, she said. This study transforms our perceived ideas regarding the composition of the nascent English Navy. Mary Rose sank on 19 July 1545 during the Battle of the Solent with the loss of most of its 415 strong crew. In 1982, the ship was raised and the remains of at least 179 crew members were found, together with thousands of objects ranging from weaponry to tools and games. The excellent preservation of the men's skeletal remains and knowing the precise time and circumstance of their death has given scientists the chance to dig into the backgrounds of the crew. For this latest study, researchers from Cardiff University, the Mary Rose Trust, and the British Geological Survey used a technique called multi isotope analysis on teeth to investigate where 8 crew members spent their early years. 4 of them have been nicknamed the Archer, the Cook, the Officer, and the Pursuer, and the Purser, because of where in the ship they were found or objects found close to them. They and their fifth known they and a fifth, known as the young mariner, were almost certainly from Britain. The Archer may have come from the port in south west England, such as Plymouth in Devon or Foy in Cornwall, and the Cook is thought to have come from the West Country coastal area. The Officer could have grown up in the south end of the Midlands or Wiltshire, while the Purser may have been raised on the banks of the Thames estuary. As was revealed 2 years ago, the young mariner was also from the West Country and thought to have been of African heritage. Okay, the truth is coming out. What is hidden in the dark will come to light. What you're going to find out, you crackers, you Edomites, is that you weren't the kings and the great kings and queens of Europe. You weren't the Mozarts and the Beethovens and the Aristotles and the William Shakespeare's. That weren't you. They were Negroes, the Knights of the Round Table. Yeah, that weren't you. That was Negroes. With a name like Knights of the Round Table, the Knights was regarding or pertaining to their dark faces. The Knights of the Round Table. Okay, so you have no history except uh, rolling and grunting and running on your knuckles, eating ticks and bugs off of each other. This is your history. You're a caveman. And it says here, um, Mary Rose never ventured beyond British coastal waters, but 3 of the 8 crew members also certainly grew up in more southern climes. One of the crew members is known as the gentleman because his remains were found close to the chest containing a carved bone panel similar to those produced in northern Italy in the 14th and 15th century. The researchers believe he may have come from the Mediterranean coast. Objects found in the carpenter's cabin, including Spanish coins and Spanish-style tools, suggest at least one of them may have come from the Iberian Peninsula. Iberian comes from the word Hebrew. Ibar means from the past. Okay, Iba. Okay, he was a Hebrew. Analysis of remains of the seventh man, who was found near the cabin, suggests he came from inland southwest Spain. Okay, 8 crew members is known as the Royal Archer because he had a leather wrist guard bearing a symbol of a pomegranate. Oh no, there it is. And the pomegranate, what is what? It's the Magan Davadid, man, the Magandawa. Yeah? The Magan Dawada, okay? The Morgan David, okay? The pomegranate. He had a symbol of a pomegranate. There you got it. You got it. There, boom. What they call the shield of David. That is the pomegranate symbol, okay? Associated with Catherine of Aragon, Henry VIII's first wife. He is known he is now believed to have come from the Atlas Mountains or possibly Spain. Okay, you can read about us being in Spain in one of J.A. Rogers' books. I think it's the one was I've got it inside my other room. It's called not Sex and Races, the other one, the other known one. Okay, it slipped my mind at the moment, but I've got it in there, and it shows all the It's got the that beautiful queen on the front of the cover, Charlotte Sophia. Okay, Catherine Aragon, and it says it believed to have come from right. Richard Madgerwick of Cardiff University School of History, Archaeology and Religion said we use 5 isotope methods in all to provide information on genealogy, coastal proximity, climate, and diet. We already know quite a bit about these characters in terms of professions, etc. So this study reconstructs biographies in unparalleled detail. Diversity aboard a Tudor warship investigating the origins of Mary Rose crew using multiple isotope analysis is published in the journal Royal Society Open Science. Okay, there you have it, man. You can read this article. It goes on, yeah. But as you see, they're talking about Henry VIII and the crew, his ship, the Mary Rose. So an ethnic crew. They said there was someone from Africa, East Africa, Carthage. That's where Hannibal was, and there was some from Spain, and that's where the Moors got kicked out from Spain from Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand. And they said the pomegranate. He had the symbol of the pomegranate, and that's the so-called Star of David. Okay, the Jewish star, they say, but it's the Israelite. It's King David's seal. Okay, Solomon's seal. Yeah, and it's the symbol of the Israelites. It's got 12 sides representing the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, so there you have it, man. The Mary Rose and Henry VIII was a Negro. Okay, that's why he had 8 wives. Okay, Esau likes one wife and a dog. Okay, and a picket fence. That's how we know that Henry VIII was Jake. Jake liked multiple wives, just like the Bible says. Our ancestors had multiple wives. So he just carried on the tradition, man. So we know that Henry VIII wasn't no Edomite. Okay? Edomite men don't like women, really. They only sleep with women to keep their race going. They're like little boys. Okay? Like the Caesars. Caesar sees him. He's a little chocolate starfish. Alright, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to say, all praises to the Abba Noah, Yahweh, by Shema Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And salutation to the Akim pushing this word in truth and sincerity. Kwam Yasharallah and Wa Abba Babo as usual. Destruction to this place. We're moving rapidly to it anyway. So it's a beautiful thing. Shalom.